All right, guys, going to do you a where's the bite. It is the 15th of May. Post spawn's going on. There's still some spawning. Spent a little time this morning offshore, didn't really find what I wanted, so we're going flipping. Okay, so let me show you my setup and what we're going to use today, and let's see how the day goes. This is a 7.6 Sicario killer bass rods flipping stick. You can get this on our website. It's 7 foot 6 inches long. It's got a real thick backbone, but it's got a lot of tip to it, so you can really get the distance on your pitch when you're pitching to these bushes. This is 20-pound P-line fluorocarbon. Now, I don't have a spool on me of 20, but I got one of 15, so I can show you the label. So that's it right there. All right, so it's P-line tactical fluorocarbon. I flip with 20. Johnny Moore's Signature Series Platinum Reel. Awesome reel. Now, as far as my bait goes, it's a Berkley Pit Boss. This one's been chewed on a little bit. It's a Berkley Pit Boss, and the color's June Bug. I use a 1/2 ounce Killer Bass Baits tungsten flipping sinker. Put a bobber stop on it right there to keep my sinker down against my hook. And the hook is a Mustad Grip Pin Max. It's got a little bitty pin right there that your bait slides right against. Won't go anywhere, won't run up and down the shank. And if you notice, if you can see that, I snail my knot around the hook. Now, if you guys don't know how to tie a snail knot, shoot me a message in the comments or whatever of the video, and I'll do you one and show you how to tie the snail. But you need to use a snail knot when you're flipping plastics. And this thing rigs real easy. All you're going to do is nose hook it as usual, and put your bait in, let it lay on the back side, and just barely skin hook it. And that pin, if you can see it, it actually holds the bait. Slide that sinker down there, bobber stop, and you're ready to roll. Okay, so May 15th. Looked a little bit offshore earlier, didn't really find what I wanted, so let's see if we can catch some up shallow. Okay, my name's Brad Burkhart, Bass Pro Shops Mercury Pro. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Let's see if we can catch one. Look at there, boys and girls. On the old Pit Boss. This is a good teaching point. Let me show you something. So I tie a snail knot on my hook when I flip. Look how far back that fish is hooked. It's not coming off. See that? See how far down in there it's hooked? Way back at the cheek. If you snell your hooks, that's where they'll always be, and you don't have to worry about losing them. And I can show you how to do a snell knot on a video if you want me to, but what you're doing, if you can see it right there, is you actually tie around the hook shank and then the line comes through the eye. And the reason you want to do that is this. When you set the hook, your sinker slams forward, or slams against the hook and kicks it. See that? See how it kicks it out? That's what you want to do, okay? You always want to snell on your flipping hooks. So when you do set the hook and you slam that sinker against it, it kicks that hook out. It's almost like an automatic broadhead. And you've seen where that one was hooked, way back in the cheek, and that's what you want to do. I mean, when you've got them in bushes and stuff like that, you want to get a good hook, hook up, and snelling your knot, flipping, and using a bobber stop so your sinker don't run up down your line. That's what you want to do. See there. It's a good one. It ain't coming off. See where she's hooked? Golly. Oh. Look at this one. She bit it the first time I flipped it in there and I missed her.
You have another one right with it?
Yeah.
That's gonna eat the bait out of its mouth.
Well, that was pretty dadgum fun. I'm gonna go back over the stuff that I was using just so you guys know for sure. 20-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon, 1/2 ounce Killer Bass Baits tungsten sinker. I put a bobber stop on top. This is a 5/0 Mustad pin grip flipping hook, and just a regular old, it's actually the same one I had earlier. That's just a regular old Pit Boss, June Bug Pit Boss, okay? Picked it up out of the floor just to show it to you. I flipped one of the Bass Pro Shop river bugs around a little bit, but it seemed like that they wanted these tails on this Pit Boss, because that Pit Boss goes down, they kind of flap. And the Bass Pro Shops, the river bug, it's more of like a beaver style bait, and it's just kind of straight up and down. They wanted that extra action. Now, if you noticed when I was flipping those bushes, I always made my first pitch to the dead heart of the bush. Don't spend your time beating around the outsides. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be right in the middle of that bush, okay? And most of the time, you're not even going to feel a bite. You're just going to flip it in there, and when you pick up, they're going to pull back. 9 times out of 10, you don't miss them. Most of the time, you don't even lose them. If you snell that knot like I was talking about earlier, okay, you won't hardly lose any of them, because they'll be hooked way back in here on the cheek, and that's what you want, all right? Get you a good stout rod. This is a 7.5 foot Killer Bass Rods Sicario. It's a 7 foot 6 inch. It's rated for 12 to 25 pound test line. It's got a real stiff backbone, but it's got a light tip. That way you can really get a lot of distance out of your pitch, okay? Now, as far as the day itself goes, I rode a little bit of offshore stuff this morning and really didn't find what I wanted. So I hit the bank. I mean, it's May 15th. The water temperature is 74.5 right now. So it's, you know, it's climbed up from probably 71, something like that. Anytime, guys, you're in the month of May, it's a toss-up. You can catch them good out deep. You can catch them good on the bank. It just depends on the size of fish, you know. I mean, if you get on a good flipping bite, stay with it. I mean, if you're finding them offshore and they're good, stay with it. You saw I caught some pretty dadgum good ones out of those bushes. So, you know, if I can catch a 3-pounder or up, which we did today, we probably caught 3 over 3, you know, up through there. Just made one pass, really. That whole video didn't take really long at all to put together. They're in there, they're biting, and for the most part, they're pretty good. So, doesn't matter where you're at in the world, the month of May is kind of, you know, player's choice. You kind of get to do what you want to do. It gives you the opportunity to get outside your comfort zone and try some new stuff, but then again, the stuff that you always dig and like and enjoy doing, it's probably going to work. So that is Where's the Bite. We are here in East Tennessee flipping some bushes on Douglas Lake. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to try to get back on schedule and get these things put out to you, you know, at least maybe one a month, so you know what's going on. So hopefully the next one coming up in June, it's going to be an offshore one for sure. Maybe I can show you guys how to use your electronics on lining up on them, what baits to use, this and that. But today, May 15th, water temperature was 74. I didn't like what I saw out offshore, so we hit the bank. And if you noticed, I did nothing but flip. It's a big sunny day, really not a lot of wind. Perfect day for flipping. And find me one person that does not like to flip with big line and a big rod. So that's Where's the Bite. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All of these products you can find at Bass Pro Shops. Big shout out to all my sponsors, guys. Bass Pro Shops, Nitro Boats, Mercury, Short Redmond Ford, Lowrance. That Active Target is the bomb. If you don't have one, you need to get your hands on it. Also, when I was going up the bank, if you noticed, I caught a good one and put the poles down. Power poles are not just for Florida. Doesn't matter what anybody tells you. We use them a lot around here, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hang on for the next one that'll drop next month. I'll get this one out as quick as I can. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. As always, God bless. Jesus loves you.